I don't know if you guys can hear anything or not. Ah, good stuff. It's crazy delayed from what I actually do and what comes up on screen. But this itself won't focus when it's in the bracket because the software doesn't let me. It just gets all whited out. But there's some rabbits out there. So if you go to my my Twitter, it just posted a link to the scope cam. You'll be able to see what I see. Well, what I should be able to see with the small camera. It's kind of awkward because the camera's actually inside a cardboard box. I'm trying to see what I can see, but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because everything's wet. This range is maybe 40 to 80, maybe 100. Well, the farthest distance to the far fence is about 120, 130 meters. So for the far fence, it's about a 4.5 mil hold. But I wouldn't take a shot there today because the wind is crazy. It's coming straight across. But hopefully you can't hear it. The wind is really getting up. But I'd rather be out here than sitting at home playing video games. I have one viewer on the little phone camera. I'm going to see, can I see a rabbit? Let's find one here. This is how the setup is. The other laptop is inside a cardboard box because I don't want it being rained on. But let me see. I'll find one here first and then I'll link up to it. Okay, I've got two rabbits. So if you want to take a look at the camera, I'm going to switch it up now in a second and try and get the picture of them through the cam. Okay, let's see what we can see. Just clipped him. He'll survive for another day. The wind was right, but see if we can see anything else. Luckily the 1022 is pretty quiet. I'm using the Fiocchi subsonics, which in the standard 1022 were pretty bad, but they're decent enough in if you have a different spring in your gun for your charging handle. I have the soft one that comes with the kid set, and it doesn't mind. It cycles them pretty good. Sometimes they get jammed, but they're not high velocity, but they do seem to be pretty accurate, and they're not super expensive either, which is good. The rig that I'm using is it's a standard 1022, and it's all standard parts, just modified. And the only bit that was actually done in the machine shop, there's a little rabbit just got up in front of me, but he's like 7 meters away, and he's hardly bigger than a tennis ball, so I think he'll survive for another day. The only bits on it that are machined are the it's an accurized bolt, so it's a shorter headspace and a squared bolt face, and the barrel has been shortened a bit, and the crown has been redone. So other than that, it's pretty standard. I'm using the 38 grain ones, the slightly lighter ones. I think the 40s would actually work better. Just give you a little bit more of a force back on the bolt to cycle it, because these guys don't like standard 1022s. When I tested them, they were pretty terrible, but they like my gun pretty good. Oh man, I wish the sun was out. I'm going to try another live stream on Wednesday when the sun is out and I can actually see farther than this. I'm actually considering getting a bolt action. I don't know, will I get a second 2.2, like a really accurate 2.2, maybe like one of the seasons, oh, what are they called? Oh, I think they're German. They use them in Olympics and stuff. I can't remember the name. something Schutz or something, or a 17 HMR. I'm not sure 17 HMR the semi-automatic version or not. I really don't know, but we'll finish spending money on my other rifles first, and then we'll see what we get. I see one at oh, he's about 80 meters, so he's an easy kill, but he's tiny. I'm not gonna do it. The rabbits I kill, they go to dog food. That's a good point. CZ455, or maybe there's that other one with the swap barrels as well that you can just change out yourself. But I don't know, did they do? Oh, they do. It's HMR and 2.2. It's the Seiko Quad. I was considering one of those as well for a while. Actually, before I got this, I was considering a Seiko Quad. You'd have to get 2 licenses, one for each barrel, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, a lot of guys, 2 guys I know have the quads, one in HMR, one in 2.2, and they're a very nice rifle. I like the bolt. It's good and solid as well. It's good design. Not saying that a wobbly bolt doesn't take away from the accuracy, but like one of the best actions out there for bolt actions, I think, is a Mauser action, and that thing sounds like a drawer full of knives and forks. It's so rattly when you're using it, but it's a damn good action. I see some ones farther away, but it'd be just pointless with this wind. If there's no wind, it would be a nice easy shot. I kind of had to park somewhere that it wasn't too windy. I'm actually sitting underneath the car, as you can see here. I got one of those little Suzuki Jimneys. Things are brilliant. It's the receiver that's on the license barrels. Oh, I know. The way it works here, though, you can have, if you get a license for, let's say, something with a serial number 555, but you get it in 2 calibers, you have to get 2 licenses if they're different calibers. You could have 22 long rifle barrels. It doesn't matter. But as soon as you change caliber, you have to have a separate license and a separate per barrel. So if I was to get a 2.2 and a HMR, it'd be 2 licenses on the same gun, which is kind of weird. It'd be pretty cool to get one of those Accuracy International AXs with the swap barrels, where you get like a 338 and a Win Mag, and then change the bolt for a 260 and a 308. Oh, if I only had enough money. The scope that's on here is the one you see in a lot of videos. It's the Falcon Optics 4-14x44, an amazing rimfire scope. Especially if you're hunting with a guy who has another mil scope, because you can hold perfect and tell him exactly the holes instead of kind of guessing with, you know, the Hawks and stuff that are second focal plane, where you all got to have the same magnification or the same max. I'm pretty sure nobody in here is new to hunting. It's not a very fast-paced sport, this kind of hunting anyway. Hunting's a lot of waiting, but you get a good payoff at the end. Yeah, there's it's a SAC. It's a SAC 2.2 suppressor. I can't remember the website because it got a funny, I think it might be Norwegian or something name, but it's a solid aluminium one. It's not the baffles aren't separate. You can't take them out. You can take off the cover, and you can see all the baffles. And it's a board and crossboard aluminium tube. It's very solid. I mean, you gotta clean it every now and again, but it's a lot easier to clean than the ones that have 500 or 600 washers inside that look like baffles. Yeah, this is 4G. Oddly enough, this year my rabbit hunting ground and my deer hunting ground have 4G. So in September, I'm going to get some pretty good videos about deer, if it keeps going well. I'm sorry that the scope cam didn't work properly. I don't know. I'm going to have to find a different way to do it. It's just, it wouldn't focus. It just washed out with all the white light. I have a bracket somewhere. I don't know where I put it, for holding it and everything, but all I was getting was a white tube of light. In a few minutes, if we don't get too many any rabbits, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to put some clay pigeons or some skeet out on the sandbanks, and I'll let you call my holes. I'll give you the distance and you guys can call my holes and I'll take the shot. I might do that now because it's a bit more entertaining than watching absolutely no rabbits. The rain is starting to get up. They don't like being wet. Okay, I'm going to clear the gun. I'm going to go down and get some clay pigeons, set them up down there, and you guys can call my holes and I'll take the shots. Okay, so we're clear. I'll change the camera down here so you can kind of see. Right on the coast. This is actually an island that when the tide comes in is cut off. At the moment, I'm actually I'll dial for wind, but it is almost full value right to left, and so I'll get one quick shot in just to get a rough wind call. I know it's hard to see the wind, or you can't really tell by the grass or anything, but you'll have to work out the height. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a quick rangefinder 0 and to get our okay, average wind call 14 to 17 miles an hour, 45 degrees from our back, and the distance to the first clay $83 meters. 0 on this is about 83 meters. So I'm working in mils. Give me a call for the first clay. So XL tact is saying 1.7 mil elevation, 1.5 for wind. Okay. The scope cam's up if you want to connect to it, and I'll see where that goes. So, yeah, tomorrow's going to be nice. 1.7 mil elevation, 1.5 right for wind. With a miss. These guys are coming out of bar length, including suppressor of 16 inches at just over 900 feet per second. I'm going to go for one on the in the middle just to see if it can be done. Ah, never cycled. Oh, we have a winner. Oh, it's not particularly cold, but I'm not sure if you can see the curtains of mist coming across. But it's not great. Okay, so you should have seen that scope hit there. It's actually the same distance, which doesn't make much sense, but call it. 0.8 for earth, 1.1 for wind, okay? Miss on 8.11. I can't click or I can't post links in the chat, but if you go to my channel page in another tab, or maybe it's up the top, I'm not sure, I can't browse on this. If you go to my Twitter, it should be posted on the Twitter. I just can't post links, but my Twitter name is at RELKO99. If you just want to search Twitter, the app auto posts the link when it starts streaming, which I can't post, which is a bit annoying. All I can see out here today are seagulls and snails. There's no rabbits left. It's too wet. I normally don't like using the BX mags, but I got them because I was shooting 1022 competition, and they use a lot of mags for one of the I think it's the 1020 competition, and I only had two, or was it one, 10 round mags, and they only use 6 shots at a go. So I have those two mags, but I have them plugged so they only take 10 shots, but they flop around. I don't like them. They're not very steady. You don't notice the 10 round mag in there. No, it's not a Nordic component. It's actually a Rimfire Magic, and it's very similar. I mean, it's an AR adapter chassis, just like the majority of them, but it is all aluminium. It's made by Rimfire Magic over in England. It's a bit expensive. I don't remember what I paid for it, but you just get the receiver part. You don't get the handguard or anything like that, so you have to buy the rest. But it's solid, and you really, once your action is in there, it's not going to move. It's not particularly heavy, but it depends what add-ons you have. I have a standard buffer tube. It's a Magpul CTR stock, the one with the little locking lug, and it's a Yankee Hill rifle length handgun. It's heavy enough with all that gear on there, but it's solid. But in the wintertime, it's cold. If you've a night that's minus and it's freezing out, you really don't want to be touching the aluminium chassis. That's kind of why I got the little the ladders over the Picatinny rails at the front there. And I have an Armageddon gear precision rifle sling for slinging it, it makes a really good job of it. I got it maybe 4 or 5 months ago for review from Armageddon Gear. I haven't done a review yet because I use it all the time. I really should get around to it. Yeah, there's actually a guy who comes shooting. He's not here today because it's a really bad day, but there's a guy who shoots at me, and he's ridiculous. There could be a rabbit anywhere inside of a 2.2's arc. I've seen him doing it over 200 meters, and his first shot of the day will be a guaranteed kill. He could take it backwards out of a helicopter while falling, and he'd still kill a rabbit with his first shot. He mightn't hit anything else after that, but his first shot's always a winner. But yeah, I've seen guys taking rabbits at over 200, but it would want to be a day where there's no wind whatsoever, and you get perfect arc, and all you're doing is looking at your tables on your Strelock or whatever ballistic tables you've written up, if you've printed them out or whatever, and you know your hole for 200, and you have a mil reticle and it's calibrated. You could stack bullets at 200 all day long if you have a proper way of shooting it. Yeah, CCI standards. I mean, I don't hunt with them, but they're a better target round for sure. They're way more consistent, and they group better. Not a whole lot better, but because these are light loads, they sometimes don't cycle the action. But I mean, you're after rabbits, you're going to get one shot, and that's it. If you have to cycle it, it's not a big deal, because you have, as you can see, the amount of time I'm waiting between rabbits. It could be 15 minutes before you have to take the second shot. You can see the rain just dripping off the the rifle now. It's really coming down. But as you're in a nice dry cardboard box, and I'm lying under a car. But if somebody wants to call another hold for I think the other one is, okay, the other one is 80 meters again. And the wind is pretty constant now. So if somebody wants to call out a hold, I'll take a shot. You probably can't see it on the small camera, but it's in the biggest bit of sand in front of me. Thanks, Andrew. It's fun. It's one thing going out stalking by yourself and being alone, but all my friends have 10-22s. We all shoot together. A lot of fun. Just aim dead on. Okay, I'll try. We'll see. Okay, so if we switch over to the scope cam, we'll see where we go. Just gotta make sure I have a bullet up in chamber, and it's not a. There we go. There you go. One hit, Andrew. Well done. Well, it's 9 p.m. I don't think any more rabbits are going to come out. My dogs probably won't starve, and I think they're too fat anyway. Well, one of them definitely is. So I think I'm going to call it. Laptop batteries are good, but it's a good test. I now know that it works. I'm going to set it up differently with a better camera next time, because this is just... start raining. This is just a webcam. And a laptop in a cardboard box. So, it's not a bad... It's a good test. I think it went well. Oh, you're not going to get an AI chassis for 500. Those damn things are... I think they're over £1,000 or very close to it. Well, definitely over €1,000. You can get AR adapter chassis like these guys for a Remington 700 long action made by MDT. That'll be in your price range, or maybe the what's it called? The X-ray. Who makes the X-ray chassis? KRG. The KRG X-ray chassis might be 500, but it's probably going to squeak a little bit above that. But that's a very solid chassis. It's just a bit cut back because they have their Whiskey 3, which is their top of the end, and that has all the bells and whistles on it. But around 500, I think you're going to be stuck with either depends what you're using it for. The damn thing is bomb, and I always wanted one. And I sold a car at one time. When I got it, I sold one of my cars, and I had some spare money, and that's why I spent the money on it. Is it worth it? Yes. I'm getting bad signal. Is it worth it? Yes, and it's hard to say no, but it is expensive. If you're going to use it, yeah, it's worth it. It's a stock that you're going to have for life. If it's something that's going to sit in your safe and just be a bit of artwork, I wouldn't bother with it. But if it's a chassis you're going to use all the time, definitely. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out I actually have it in the car. I'm going to take out the AX and take a shot at the last clay. I'm probably going to miss, but give me 1 second till I switch over rifles. Let me just clear this one. Okay, so here's the AI. Oddly, I'm probably going to miss because this is zeroed. I'm going to turn off the scope cam here. I'm probably going to miss because this is zeroed much farther out. I don't normally shoot close range of this, but ammo using, I have a Hornady steel match. These guys shoot really well out of my 1 and 12. We're going to just try for a clay out there. I'm not going to shoot with the scope cam because I'll only end up breaking my teeth, because when I have to shoot that far back, I leave my cheek, my chin against the recoil pad to get it. But I think I'm going to keep my bottom teeth today, and we'll do it this way. So because it's a Win Mag, I just want to make sure there's no horses or people downrange. It's I have my suppressor on there, which is the Wildcat Predator 8, and try and angle you out here so you can see. We go for a clay. I do like the Falcon scopes. They never gave me anything for free, so it's not like I'm doing work for them or anything. I paid for all my Falcons, but for the money, they're damn good. They like the mil reticle to crosshair what sold me, but the they haven't failed on me. I mean, the small one I have in the 1022 did fail when I put it on the Win Mag with a muzzle brake. But that's just because the vibrations caused by that muzzle brake on a long slim barrel is ridiculous. That would lose zero at that. But other than that, I've dropped them, hit them off doors. They're grand. They're a good price. But if you're going to be shooting past 800, you need better glass. That's where they do start to show their price tag, is the glass past 800. Don't get me wrong, it's not unusable, but there's a lot, you're not doing yourself any favors at that. Okay, so we're loaded up. Okay, that was right down the center. I did break it. But yeah, no, I love my AX chassis. It's solid. When someone sees it, they always get a little bit of wow factor, which is nice. But they are expensive. My boat doesn't like these steel match with their plastic coating though. It has ejection issues. But yeah, I mean, the Falcon's great. Wouldn't go, if you're going to be doing past 800 meters a lot, I wouldn't bother. I'd put a couple more €100 with it, maybe get a Vortex PTS or go whole hog. Really good scope right now for a great price range if you have 1,000 to spend is the Burst XTR line. They have a fantastic crosshair, real good glass, very rugged. I had a Burst for years instead of broke it, which is kind of strange because I generally end up breaking things when they're finished. But yeah, the Burst XTR scopes seem to be very good. They're brand new, so there's not a whole lot of reviews out there yet. And maybe Burst will send me one. I don't know. I should start writing emails. The zero on this one at the moment is 300. That's just because the last time I was shooting it was at 300. I don't actually have the turret zero, and I don't have a zero stop, so I can't just dial it back. But I held, I know 300 is 1.4 mil, so I just held under 1.4 mil, and it was square in the middle of the clay. So that's all for now. I don't know if this thing lets me record it and put it up online, or how does it work, but if you I suppose the easiest way to follow updates is either, I guess, through Twitter, or I have two Facebook accounts, one for MRAD as a business and one for MRAD as a person, that, and I don't know how I got the name, but it that's where the handiest place is to get updates for when I'm doing these things and stuff, because I don't think Facebook emails when there's going to be a live event. But I foresee a good lot more. I gotta fiddle with the equipment now that I know there's enough bandwidth, and get some decent cameras, and maybe do it on days when I can actually see my targets at a certain distance. But for now, thanks for tuning in, and I guess I'll see you. I'll definitely be back for another video on Wednesday, and I still have to do a couple of videos on the Remy long action build and the 1022 build, but I'm waiting for some tools to do the bedding. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.